What's up, everybody? Today I'm out here at the Marshall Hampton Reserve. It's over here close to Winter Haven, in between Lakeland and Winter Haven. And there's a few trails in here that I've never been. I've never been over here at all. So I want to go in and check it out. I'll turn you around so you can see the sign here, and I'll show you what I'm thinking about doing today. Alright, if you know where Circle B Bar Reserve is, this is just east of it. And here's the trails for that. But I'm thinking of doing the Panther Point trail, which is around 7.5 miles. The red trail, and it's going to skirt Lake Hancock. And you can see IR here. So, never been here before. I'm really excited to check it out. I've driven past it a few times. And they got a big fence built here because they're building a humongous road right down the middle of the property. And all the other times that I had been past here, it used to have a different trailhead, if I'm not mistaken. But I think they had to move it because of this big road. But I ran into a couple of ladies at the parking lot, and they said they typically keep this pretty maintained and mowed down. And it should be a great hike. So let's go check it out and enjoy the day. Right off the bat, I'm seeing a lot of birds out here already. And check this place out. Big old pond. I just seen a big fish jump too. I bet there's some pretty good sized bass in there. But this is just right off the trail. And there's a rabbit. Hanging out right next to the trail. Doesn't seem bothered by me at all. I kind of misspoke when I said that road was running down the middle of the property. It just kind of skirts the outskirts of it. Look at them ducks down there. But that's the road they're building way back there. And that mound you see, I believe, is the Polk County dump. Once again, I looked this place up on All Trails app, and I found 3 different trails on here. And it states that the Panther Point trail was a little bit over 7 miles. Well, let me show you on the pamphlet what it says. All right, here on the pamphlet, there's 3 different trails that it states. There's an Osprey Overlook Trail, that's 2.5 miles, loop. Acorn Hammock Loop, which is 3.5 mile loop. And then Panther Point Trail, which is 5.25. So we will find out in between the map and All Trails exactly how far I go today. Looks like Osprey Loop is going to be that way. Panther Point is this way. And look at this. Huh. Let's see if she works. Well, I'll be dang. Don't mind if I do. Guess we're in a cattle pasture now. Yep, I see cow paths. I'm guessing I go straight on down. Beautiful out here. Uh-oh, the gates are beeping. Hopefully it closes back. Yep, there it goes. Nice. Have a pretty nice welcoming breeze coming across this pasture. And I was looking at the map, and it shows that this is about 1,173 acres out here. It's a pretty good little piece of property. It looks like some of it is just working cattle pasture at the moment. Maybe some old mines. Then we'll be up here by Lake Hancock. That'd be pretty old Florida over there. Of course, this is too. Looks like some of the cows are headed the same way I'm headed. We'll see how wild they are or if they're used to people. I guess there's three things they can do: run away, stay still, or chase me. This one here is looking spooked. That one there looks like a big old bull. No, that's a big old cow. Yeah, I think it is just a big cow. Let's see. They're pretty. All these birds flying around. Starting to get into some pretty nice oaks back here. Looks like a fence line too. Probably I'll have another gate to go through. We'll see. Here's a bit of a runoff creek or something that runs under the road. There's a huge swamp back there. And it runs over here to the other side. Pretty low land out here. And it stinks. Smells like rotten vegetation. Just like an old nasty swamp's supposed to smell. Look at that sky, it's beautiful. A little bit of a breeze too, man, that's nice. Hopefully that hangs on for a while. Here's a look out over the swamp. Huge. Not sure if that's an old man-made pit or if it's just natural, but there's definitely a levee road in between. Because once I get up here, I believe Lake Hancock's going to be on my right-hand side. So all that water over here on the left, I guess, is flowing under the road to Lake Hancock, most likely. And then on to Peace River. Look at all them skeeter hawks out there flying around, if you can see them. There's an osprey, fish hawk. Pretty good birding trail out here. Lots of birds. There's my first view of Lake Hancock. You can see the hills from Mosaic Mines way over there. That stands out like a sore thumb. And I imagine just back that way is Circle B Bar. Look at these old oaks that I'm walking under. Pretty nice. Also, the road's been like this, 2-track road. So, plenty of room to ride a bike, and you can see people do. Good, easy walking. You don't have to get wet or be in the weeds. My feet are wet just because the dew on the ground. But it's nice out here. You don't really hear any road noise right through here. Haven't heard it for a ways. So you do kind of get out here. And we'll see if we get any better views of the lake up here. Maybe we see some big gators, because that lake's known for them. And lots of them. Wow, y'all. Didn't expect a bridge. I haven't really looked ahead on the trail, but have a look at this view. Look at them cypresses. Stunning view through here. Here's the other side. Got all kinds of birds flying around. This is gorgeous right here. Let's continue on. There's a view of my first gator I've seen today. And there's the second one. Right out there. Right there. There goes a duck. Excellent spot. Beautiful spot. That might not have been a duck. Well, the trail's closed in on me. We'll see if it pops back out into an opening somewhere. Right through here, you can't see anything but the bushes, both sides. I know it's sort of windy out, but can you hear all them birds? Must be hundreds of them over there. I'm almost 3.5 miles in, still kind of on a levee, and I think it's going to stay like this the rest of the way according to the All Trails app. I may go over Peace River, where Lake Hancock spills into, and end at a boat ramp is what All Trails map is showing for me. But I'm at almost 3.5 miles now, so with this being an in and out trail, it's going to be closer to probably to 8 miles. Maybe more. We'll see. It's been pretty though. You get random views of the lakes and swamps with some of the trail overgrown. So far, that's been my favorite, is the views and the pasture and that bridge. But we'll continue on and see how many miles we are when we are forced to turn around. I'm betting close to 4. Well, y'all, this trail is longer than I thought, because if you look here, it says 5.25 miles to temporary end, which if you flip the map over, it shows to stop here with a stop sign. But there's all this to do, and if that's 5.25 miles, that's a pretty good stretch for an in and out. I would like to get to here though, and we'll see if I do. I don't know, depends on how hot it gets and my water situation. So it's easy walking, so that's not a problem. I'll let you know. Here's a memorial signage here. Past the 4.5 mile mark. Got a little bench there. And some humongous cypress trees. And I'm still headed down the trail. I doubt I'm gonna be able to hike this whole thing today. I think it's gonna turn out to be 14 or 15 miles if I do it in and out all the way. So I may just go to the temporary end of it, which is 5 1/4, and go back, which kind of makes me sad because I want to cross over the bridge, lock, whatever they have there at the Peace River. I can hear some bull gators out there bellowing. Not sure if the phone's picking it up or not, but it's a real low growling. Maybe you can hear it. Must be several of them out there bellowing back and forth. Here's the mile 5 marker right at a gate. It looks like we're headed uphill. Let's see what it looks like when we get to the top, if that's which way it takes me. Menotti. Some history out here. Big old mound there. That way it says area closed. So I imagine I'm going up on the hill. I wonder if that's the temporary stop area. We'll go up on top of the hill and look around. All right, it's breezy up here, but I came from right over there. And you can see the Mosaic Mines that way. Looks like Hancock Lake is over there. And it's got me headed down. I don't know what you call this, the levee, probably. I think that was my turnaround point back there, according to the map. But I didn't turn around, I'm still going. But I don't know, this is exposed out here and it's getting early morning, getting warm. There is a breeze though. We'll just see how far I can go. I'm good on water. Hopefully no thunderstorms pop up on me. Pretty good ways from the truck. Y'all, there's a gator out there, right in the middle of the screen. That's a pretty good ways away. But I seen it with its back up, and that thing is humongous. I bet it's a 10-footer or bigger. So I'm still headed down this levee here, this knoll. Still looking over the lake that way. I'm just pushing on. I don't know. I can't turn around. I'm just gonna keep going. See some sort of structure up here. Maybe that's where I cross over. We'll see. It's windy up here. I just don't want to get caught in a lightning storm's all. I think if I end up going to the end of my All Trails app map, it's going to turn out to be 14, 15 miles. When I was only planning on doing around 7, so yeah, that's how it's turning out. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Birdie. Look at that view. Beautiful. Still breezy up here. That's what's keeping me going. That's nice. You can see the county dump that way. Mosaic Mines that way. Florida mountains, I reckon. And I'm walking on a levee now. But it's nice here. And there's some sort of water structure right here. Looks like I'm about to walk over it. Looks like 2 miles to the end. Well, to the turnaround. Then we go back. We must be getting close toward the end because there's a bunch of houses over there. And I can hear traffic on the road a lot louder. That's probably 98 North. Still haven't crossed over the Peace River, I guess it is up here. But we'll be getting to it pretty soon. And then shortly after that is my turnaround point, so we're getting close, about a mile. Well, it's got me coming down off the levee. Looks like I'm gonna cross right here. And I think just on the other side, yeah, there's the boat ramp. So that's gonna be my turnaround point. Come over here and check it out. 'Cause I still got over 7.5 miles to get back. And the clouds are, I don't know, they're gonna come together. Just hope I'm back to the truck before they do. Let's check this place out. This is the Peace River, the headwaters of the Peace River. People out there fishing. You look down this way. It's a pretty ancient river down through there. This is the river where they find all the shark's teeth and all kinds of remnants from years and years ago. All right, y'all, I've been hanging out here in the shade right here at the boat ramp, just kind of taking a little break before I turn around, but it's time to move on. I'm gonna head back the same way I came. So if I see something new, I'll show y'all. Other than that, I'm just gonna try to make good time because the sky's getting a little dark that way and a little darker that way. So let's go. So on the way here, stopping and recording and taking pictures and stuff, I've been walking for 2.5 hours and I've been 7.5 miles. So I'm hoping to maybe get back a little bit quicker than 2.5. We'll see. 2.5 is fine by me. It's, like I said, pretty easy walking out here. That X right there, I think that's for maybe like a helicopter pad to land on. I don't know though, because there's a post right there. Who knows? I thought all the X's marked like that in wide open spots were places for helicopters to be able to sit down, but who knows? I'm headed back on the levee. Back to the woods. All right, I've been jogging along the levee trying to outrun the clouds. But right over there on that patch of concrete, there's another X on the ground. And then there's power poles there. So that ain't conducive for a helicopter to land. I think it's just marking these water structures. Because back there was the ramp and the water structure, and then here's another one. Makes more sense for now. Anyways, trying to outrun the clouds. I've got a little ways to go before I get off this levee. That's really what I want to do. Get off the levee before lightning starts, and I won't feel so bad. raccoon down there walking along, popping up. I think it spotted me now. Yeah, must have spotted me. Still on the levee. Woohoo! Made it off the levee. Clouds ain't too bad. It's keeping it breezy, but they can always start building any second. But hey, I'm off the levee, so I'm not quite as worried about lightning, really. That was my main concern. Sticking out like a sore thumb up there. Now I'll get down here on the smaller levee that goes in between the swamp and the Lake Hancock. Got about 5 miles back to the truck. Finally made it back to the bridge. The wild bridge. The birding bridge. Birds everywhere. Such a pretty spot. I got about 2.5 miles left. Be back at the truck, and I saved 2 trails for another day. That Osprey loop, and there was another loop. So I'll be back. I'll be back for that trail another day. Looks like I'm beating the rain, y'all. Woohoo! We got about 10 minutes. I'll be back at the truck. Awesome trail out here. All right, everybody. I made it back. Here's where I started. That's a quick look at the Panther Point trail, which is an awesome trail out here at the Marshall Hampton Reserve. Turned out to be around 15 miles. And it's kind of breezy, and I beat the rain. Thanks for watching my videos, y'all. Be sure to like and subscribe and share them if you want. That's all I got for this one. We'll catch you on the next adventure. See y'all.